Well, here we are, we're in France. We've got the tunes rocking on the old deck. We're in convoy, there's 4 vans going down, there's a couple of lads already there. We've got a bit of a slow one in front of us. It's Lewis Porter and he can't drive. 65 mile an hour on a French motorway, it's just not on. But just look at it, the weather is looking cock on. The fish, they're certainly in the pond. They haven't been out for a while as well. Some of the big ones are due and we're hoping that this week will be it. It's my birthday bash, we're out for the Abbey Challenge. There's 11 of us in total. And this is what carp fishing is about, having a bit of fun with your mates. Here we are, the final journey is over. It looks like somebody's just putting up a new Abbey Lakes sign there as we're turning up. Look at that. There we go, you come under the bridge, turn left, and it's been a nice, easy 2-hour journey coming down. And here we are. Darkness through the trees as we emerge into the Abbey. Now, we're going to go in, we're going to grab a coffee, have a chat, find out what's gone on, and we have arrived. Here we are. Well, hey, we're going angling! The idea behind the Abbey Challenge is that we get together for a bit of a friendly competition where the biggest individual fish wins. A motley crew of my mates gathered on the banks of Abbey where we drew for swims. With 4 lakes to choose from, there were plenty of options and also plenty of fish to go at. Race leader gets the privilege of looking after this rather fetching inflatable fella, and whoever had him when the final hooter sounded would be deemed the winner. Sean McSpadden got off to a dream start.
Right, let's get her out nice and safely and give her away. Just make sure, fold the net over. I find it the safest way. There's plenty of depth of water there, just slowly roll the net down. Make sure all its fins are tucked against its body, so you're not putting any undue pressure on them and bending them the other way, like bending your arm behind your back. And you can lift it safely out of the water onto the unhooking mat. A bit bigger than I thought. I've already unhooked it in the water, so there's no bits of tackle knocking about. And there she is in her winter colours. Really long, dark fish, as you can see. Again, testing a Reflex Dark Camo sinking braided hook length in a little solid rapid PVA bag. Full of pellets, a bit of chop boilie. Again, just before I lift it up, just check again. The fins are against its body for exactly the same reasons we did with the net. Let's give her away. $29.10.
Days.
Thank you, Scott. Really long, powerful fish. And there we go. £29, 10 ounces. Of Abbey Lakes carp.
Well, the first day is always a bit hectic. You've got to get into the venue, you've got to get set up, and you hope just to get the rods in place with the chance of a fish. And lo and behold, just on dusk, look at that, I've managed to bag one. This one is a couple of ounces short of £29, £28.14 in fact, and it's not actually the biggest that our guys have caught. Bonesy's had one, oh, he's going to flap, so just keep him low at the mat. Bonesy's had one Sean's had one just shy of 30, but young Tommy Maker, he's doing it again. He's at a 37 pound. He's in the lead, but we're snapping at his heels. Going to get this one back. We'll talk about rigs and bits and bobs in the morning, because now it's time to get the rod back in the water and hopefully get another one tonight. And there he is. That's how clear the water is. You can see them a long, long way out, even in the dark. Come on, let's hope they feed tonight. That's one. Hopefully there's more to come. Well, nothing more for me last night, but I did mention yesterday when I had that fish just on darkness that I talked through the rig. So here we have it. Starting just at this end, the main line, 15 pound Warrior XT in brown. As it's dropping down into winter, the colour's dropping out the water, and I love that browny, greeny colour. It really hides well. But business end, last couple of foot, this is Illusion in 15. It's absolutely fantastic. It sinks pretty well, but trust me guys, when this is on the bottom, and believe me, I've seen it down there, when it's nailed down on the bottom, that stuff is as invisible as you can possibly get. So that's my choice of leader material. I'm a big fan of inline leads. At the moment I'm using a 3-ounce inline. I've got a quick change swivel on there, down to the new hook link material there. Now this is Reflex Light, and you'll see there it's got a disrupted camo pattern on it, and it really is a decent colour on the bottom. The material itself is just, it's lovely. That's the best way to describe it. It just sits so well, and as with any braid, the best thing to do is just a little drop of tungsten putty on it. Coming up to the hook end, I am an absolute fan of SSBP hooks. Armour Point SSBP in my eyes are, without any shadow of doubt, the best and most durable hook out there. Incredibly sharp, you can catch loads of fish on them. I put a small bit of shrink tubing on there as well, just to create a little bit of an extra kick. This is a size 6, I've got 2 grains of corn on there. I like a size 5, like a size 4 as well, but at the moment this is a size 6. Standard bag rig, coming up to 2 pieces of plastic corn. All of that is smashed into a solid PVA bag with the old Rapide loader system, chucked out into the pond, and hopefully that will catch me a fish or two. But as I say that, and I'm hoping to catch a few fish, I've heard just across the way on Attila, a young man by the name of Tom Maker is absolutely smashing the place up. So why don't you trip over there and find out what he's doing.
Right, well, I'm on Attila. It's Sunday morning, we've been here 24 hours now. I have 13 fish already, the 2 that you can probably see in there, I've literally just had. One of them's 37 1/4 and the other one's 38.10. And before we could do anything, rod's back out, 3 more spods over the top, and this one's rattled off. So just keeping the rod low, just playing it in nice and gently, and hopefully we can land another one. There he is, nice comment. Yeah, safety leg clip set up with a new matte Cortex hook link material, size 4 SSBP. I'm pretty sure this one's just on a single grain of plastic corn. There it goes. Alright. I'm not too sure if you can hear, but my other rod's going. So. Well, as you can see, Dad's just putting that one in the sling. That's probably a mid-20 common. And into another one now. I've got all 3 rods, literally, they're on. Well, I say an area the size of a ground sheep, but at 100 yards you're probably not that tight. Yeah, 3 baits close together, bit of spod out there, and literally when they move in on here, you can get
one bite, put it back out, you get another bite, or sometimes you can even get 2 or 3 while while you're playing the other one. The other ones will be going off. So yeah, it's a good tactic for an ear. Let's just say that. Right, Dad, I've got a funny feeling this is quite big. Oh, for God's sake, that's huge. Right, once its head's up, it should just keep moving. Going for it. That's a good one. That is a good one, that. Cheers, Luke. How big's that, Dad? Oh, yeah, now that is a big one. Right, if I lift it straight into the... In fact, if I lift it up, Dad, and then just lift this net out of the way, yeah? Calm down, calm down. Side each. And let's just check its fin. Lift it up first. That'll do. 46-14. Oh yes! Cheers. Cheers. Look at that. Yes. Oh, what a result. 46-14. Yes. Epic. Bad boy fish. Oh. Look at the size of it. Look at that. What a unit. So, now we've got to photograph them all. So, the one that you saw me land, the first one, mid-20 common, a 37.2 mirror, a 38.10 mirror, and now this one, 46-14. And people avoid fishing here because they reckon the fish aren't big enough. Well, that's big enough for me in the middle of November. Well, there you go. As I was saying, sometimes one goes, sometimes 2 goes, but now all 3 of them are gone. So, again, just shows the importance of fishing free on a baited area, because when they move in, the little common come in first. Well, I say small, mid-20 common come in. The next one, 46-14. So, if you only had 1 rod on that area, I'm pretty convinced that every time the little ones come in, they have the bait, away they go. No rods left, the big ones come in, nice bit of free food for them. But if you've got any more than 2 rods on an area, 9 times out of 10 that the second one you hook is the bigger one. Oh, yeah, let's get this one in, hopefully, and we'll see what this is. As you would have probably seen on one of the runs, I've got the new Springer arm bobbins on. Basically what they're doing is, when you're fishing at long range, the tension on the arm is pulling your line down. So no matter how tight your lines, you've always got probably a 2-inch drop on your rod. So as soon as I'm getting anything happening that end, that bobbin is going to move this end. Whereas a normal bobbin, sometimes they're quite light and they just hold at the top and you don't see it until they've taken it out of the clip. But with them bobbins, you've got 2 inches of movement. And as soon as that fish takes, bang, you're straight up to the top. And there's just no messing about, no false indications. The lines are nice and tight, straight down to a 4-ounce lead. And start to say, as soon as that bobbin moves up or does any sort of movement, I know I've either been done or I've got a bite. 9 times out of 10, it's a bite. Now that one's in the net, and we just heard over the radio that one of Fox's Dutch sponsored anglers has had a fish out of herring called shoulders. So let's go and have a look at that one. Right, well no sooner have we got back from looking at the new ladies' world record of fishing herring called shoulders at 84 pound. I've put the rods back out and I've had another flurry of activity. This one is probably the best looking one I've had, 3712 common. Let's have a look at the other ones. This one, 37 and a quarter. And this one, 38.10. And finally, after that flurry of activity, this was the last one, £40.10. Had 19 fish now, 2 40s, 3 37s, a 38 and a 32. So for a few more tonight, and I'll show you what I'm doing in the morning. Look at that. Right, I'm just going to run you through the tactics and what I've been doing while I've been over here. So first of all, have a look at the rigs I've been using. The hook link material is a new matte Cortex. It's just following on from the 3 colours that were already available. Much better colour, and it's turned an already awesome hook link into an even better hook link. Off the end of that, size 4 SSBP hook. It may look big, but when you're catching fish with the mouths that you could probably fit an orange in, it really isn't big at all. Just a little bit of silicone there on the shank of the hook, that just holds the hair nice and tight. And hook bait on this particular rig is an 18mm cell. You can probably see, got a anti-tangle sleeve on the top there, and that's on a figure of 8 loop as well. And all that's doing is that allows me to change my rigs as and when, if the hook goes blunt or I have a breakage of any sort, and that's just attached to a new adaptive camo light leader material. So that's the rig I've been using. Let's just have a little look at the spod mix. In here, it's just very, very simple, exactly the same as I was using in England. Sweet corn, just to add a visual effect, and as well I can change my hook bait presentation if I want. Chopped cell, matching cell response pellets, and hemp. That's just all just mixed together, and that goes out there in a spod little and often, and we've been getting bites doing it. And that also enables me to have 3 different presentations on the hair. So that's the one that's probably done with the most fish. 14mm cell tip of plastic corn. Threaded down there is a large PVA bag of Little Gems pellets, as well as a few crush response pellets. Again, the one I just showed you, an 18mm cell bottom bait. And as well, on this rig here, we have a double bit of plastic corn, because there are a few crays here. So if we're having problems with the boilies, we can change over to that, and that allows us to carry on fishing effectively. Another little thing I've been doing, I believe it makes a difference. I'm pretty sure carp do like sweet things, is all of my hook baits are soaked in beetling before I cast them out anyway. But even before I cast, just give them a fresh little dip, and that's real sweet, intense flavour around the hook bait, and it just gives the carp something else to home in on. So that's what I've been using, and it's certainly been working, because because we've had a real good trip and a hell of a lot of big fish doing it as well. So that's it.
Here we go, my third fish of the trip. Tactics for this one was a rapid, solid PVA bag with the new Reflex dark camo sinking braided hook length, 5 inches long. Happy days. Let's get her back and I'll show you how I caught it. As you can see, the weather's turned for the worse again, and I've just put that fish back. Let me show you how I caught it quickly. I've had it on a rapid PVA bag system. We're fishing Abbey Lakes, it's November, it's freezing cold, clear water conditions. There's a lot of bait boats on the fishery. I've chosen not to use one, just to fish a little bit differently. We've seen the odd fish show, and I just wanted to put a little trap, a patch of bait where I've seen fish, just to try to pick the odd one off from the great big masses of bait everywhere left by bait boats. It's my option. Luckily, it's produced that fish we've just put back. So let's have a look at the rig. As I say, I've had it on the rapid PVA bag, which I'll tie shortly and show you how I do it. But getting down to the business end, I've got a 15-pound dark camo Reflex hook length, which is a super soft sinking braid, perfect for PVA bag fishing. Down to the hook end, as you can see there, this is known as a shot on the hook rig. So I've got a size 8 S4 Curo hook with a Frutella pop-up. And as you can see there, I've folded a piece of braid over the hook and pinched the shot on, just burning the end very slightly, just to seal it on there. And what that enables it to do then is move up and down the hook, so it doesn't affect the way you hook a fish once it goes in. It just moves out of the way and exposes the main shank of the hook. And what that does then, as we've seen from the underwater footage, it creates what I call a cherry on the cake. I want this hook bait to be visible once the PVA bag melts. I don't want it underneath whatever's inside your PVA bag. I don't want it being hidden by the pellets. I want it to melt and that hook bait to be visible from the off. And what we found during the underwater filming, it just sits very nicely like that. Which also then, obviously, as soon as a carp picks that up, the weight of the shot on the hook pretty much makes it very hard to get rid of. It turns that hook point straight down into the bottom lip and makes it very difficult and cumbersome for a carp. Getting to the lead end, I've got a 3-ounce inline lead. Something which I will show you, but it's only at the concept stage, is a new inline lead insert that we are working on. This isn't a final model, but it shows you the concept, something very simple. As you see, it's sliding down the new 35-pound green leadless leader, and what that does then, it works against itself, so you can cast it at any distance you want, and it doesn't come off. You can slide a tail rubber over the end just to make it a little bit more secure. I've not needed to on this session, and then basically the fish will pull it away and off it comes. Very simple. Right, onto the bag. I'm using the small rapid PVA bag system, so I'll take the locking collar off. I always carry a little bit of base mix and a little bit of micro pellet. This is the PVA bag pellet from Mainline, absolutely perfect for these fishing situations. Creates a really nice, tight, compact bag. I always just put a little bit of each in the bottom, work it around a little bit, especially at this time of year when the PVA is taking a little bit longer to dissolve in the water. Give it a little blow. I'll work the contents to one corner of the bag. Drop that in very, very carefully, and then I just hold the hook bait in position. Work it into the corner, so you have a small amount of pellet in your base mix at one end, your hook bait's in your fingers, and I can see the shots positioned perfectly on the hook. I then work it back, it holds it all into position, pat it down with the lead very, very slightly, into the groove at the back, and we're ready to roll. And just keep patting the bag down so it's nice and compact. What I tend to do is add a little bit of base mix. It keeps everything dry, especially in these conditions. You don't want any moisture on the rig because it will dissolve the bag before you have a chance to cast it out. Nothing more frustrating. Then if you keep working the pellet and the base mix down in the bag, it becomes very, very compact, which you'll see shortly. I generally fill it a little bit much, just a little bit out, and just tap it on your knee or a hard surface. Then what I tend to do, it's only personal, is squeeze the bag very, very gently. And there we go. You can see in the bottom of the bag there you've got the hook bait, a bit of base mix keeping everything nice and tight and dry, and then work the magic with the PVA bag loader, and then just massage the corners, get it all nice and tight, especially if you're fishing at any considerable distances. Lick the corner, fold one side and the other one. Give it a little squeeze, and there you go. Perfectly formed rapid PVA bag. I call it the cherry on the cake rig. The 35-pound new submerge leader, which is very, very supple. There's no lead in it, so once that hits the bottom, even if it's in weed, it's going to create its own little clear area. The hook bait will be exposed, and with this new submerged leader not having any lead in it whatsoever, it'll follow all the contours of the bottom. A very, very effective presentation of PVA bag.
Here we go, it's the third morning. Still getting loads of bites. This is the 30th one now. Had another 40. That one's in there, we'll show you that one in a minute. Still putting a few spods out after each fish, and literally they just keep coming. So let's get this one in and we'll have a look at that 40. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you go to the toilet and leave your rods out. 42, 42.2?
Yeah, 42.2, yeah.
Oh well.
Thanks.
How about that then? 36 pounds, 12 ounces. I've been fishing maggots all week, exactly the same as on Manor, with one exception. I've been using the Camatech Stiff because in Fox Lake there are a load of crayfish. In fact, on the first night I was using the Reflex. They managed to tangle it up fairly well, so I'm switched to the Camatech Stiff in light. Matches the sandy bottom that I'm fishing on perfectly. Then a little white pop-up, just over a size 5 SSBP, and that did the trick. Really happy with this one. I've been working pretty hard during the days behind the camera, and then for the nights, getting the rods out. Happy days.
100% this is a chunk. 100%. So I'm putting my money on it being 35 plus. Mate, this has got to be something special, this. There is 50s in there, isn't there? Just feels huge. Please. I don't think I've ever pleaded with a fish. And there we go. The session just keeps getting better and better. It's the full 40 now. £42, 8 ounces. Absolutely amazing winter action. Let's get it back.
Well, there we go. The challenge is over for another year, and we have a winner. He didn't just win it, he absolutely dominated it. This is the trophy that he's going to be getting his paws on. And the winner is, of course, the man that's still got the inflatable man. Who is it? Well, this fella over here. Look at that. Tom Maker, £46 and 14 ounces. There you go. You are the 2012 Abbey Challenge winner.
Hey. Do I get to keep the man as well?